Hello, everybody, and welcome to another 2020 Lamley Award Showcase. If there's one sentence I've uttered over and over again this year, it's that I am, in caps, all in on Mini GT. And that is what I am showcasing for you today. My favorites, the models that I thought were the 10 best from Mini GT in 2020. Now, I'm going to say this. The most significant thing I did to my collection this year was add a full Carney display full of Mini GT. That's significant for me because I have very limited wall space. I try and keep my collection completely limited to what I can fit in my office and on the walls. And I got so into Mini GT from what I was seeing from them rolling out each month. I decided I needed another Carney display and I needed to add that to my wall, and it's right above this display that you see right here. And it's not totally filled yet, but it will get there, and then I'll have to figure out what else I'm going to do because I love this brand. I love what they're doing, and Glenn and crew over there have really just hit the right notes with so many models. So with that in mind, I picked 10 models, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I could not just rank them. It's so hard with the diversity of the models, so many things to like. I picked 10 that I thought were the best, the most indicative of what Mini GT did this year and how great they did this year. But I have ranked the final two. So my number 2 and number 1 are the two best, in my opinion, of Mini GT, the two best models of from Mini GT in 2020. And then the other 8 are not in any particular order. So we need to just get started. And this is what I will begin with. This is the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. This is released in several colors. I like this white one the best. I think we saw a silver and yellow. Now I can get into all the details of the model. This is a stock model. You've got this Porsche on the Porsche, like the carbon fiber look on the spoiler. There's Porsches, I think, in every list I've done in the Lamley Awards. For obvious reasons, there's just kind of this resurgence of fantastic Porsche models, and Mini GT was no exception with this fantastic GT2 RS in white. All right, next one. I had to put an R32 in this list, and boy, there were a lot to choose from. They released it about halfway through this year. They started releasing the R32s. We saw 2 HKS, we saw a couple of like Nismo versions, we saw the 3 Calsonic, which I really liked. I thought about just doing a tie with all the Calsonic, but the HKS in this really standard HKS livery with the Advan deco, I just couldn't ignore, and so I had to put this one in. I made a note at one point after talking to Glenn over at Mini GT, and by the way, we're going to talk to him again next week to preview 2021 on Instagram. He talked about how the wheels were very important to how he did it, that he wanted to make sure that the wheels were era correct. And so in this one, in this case, it's the 90s, and they put the exact kind of racing wheels on this HKS model that match. And that's what you should be doing in these premium type lines. And I couldn't still totally leave that R32 world. I had to include this one as well. But aren't those aftermarket wheels, and it is an aftermarket carbon fiber hood. And so they're saying, yeah, as much as we're going to go era correct on those race cars, we'll have some fun and show a modern take on the R32. This is something you could totally see at a Cars and Coffee or something like that anywhere, and I would obviously ogle over it. It's an absolute stunning model. And then you add to the fact like they've got the details on the rear window, all of that stuff. You've just got, again, to me, it's about this perfection with these premium brands. You've got to really nail it. And they nailed it with both of those R32s. And I think that shows that nice variety that Mini GT is not afraid to jump on. All right, a lot of people. This was a fun one to watch people respond to. This is the Bentley, what is this one? It's the Continental GT3, right? I don't know if we've seen the actual version of this model out. They did this special holiday version. I would typically not go for something like this with kind of an unrealistic quote-unquote deco, but so many of these die-cast makers now are making pure works of art, and I thought this holiday model, especially designed by Mini GT, the casting, and then the deco was actually designed by a Bentley designer. what's his name? Phil Dean actually designed this one for Mini GT. He did this wrapping paper like deco, and when you look at the gold foil style, the fact that it wraps around the entire car, I just thought this was so cool and so different from what we typically do. We've seen some of the brands do these kind of showcase type of models, not necessarily realistic, but just really, really cool. And this one still has a cool kind of racing style to it. I just loved this. And the reason I said I enjoyed the reaction is because when it was first released, some people were like, or when it was first introduced, some people were like, I don't know about that. That's kind of goofy. I like the more realistic stuff, until people saw it in person and they were all in. So I love that Bentley. All right, we're going to stay with this contrast. I showed the contrast of the R32. How about this? Lamborghini Huracan. I love this model too. I've professed so many times that I'm not a fan of Lamborghinis in general. I probably just need to just shut up on that, because I keep liking, if I like all the die-cast models of Lamborghinis that so many of these companies do, I must like Lamborghinis, because I think this thing is absolutely stunning. I love the orange color. I love the rims that Mini GT did on this. Everything is perfect, from the stance to the detailing. Typically, if you said, all right, you're going to give you a stock Lamborghini Huracan and an aftermarket Liberty Walk style Huracan, which one would you like? Well, I would, without, seeing anything, I would say, well, I totally want the stock. I don't know if I can get, the Liberty Walk is not my style. Yet, when you see this thing, it is like the Bentley, the Christmas Bentley. It is not easy to ignore, and I love this one. I could have picked any of the colors. They've released 3 colors, 4. White, this one, red, yellow, and then the special Tarmac Works edition in that kind of color changing green, and I really like that one too, but I decided to pick the white because it just showcases the casting. A couple of details here. The spoiler's fantastic, and only brands like this can actually replicate a spoiler. You see a spoiler like this with that middle piece, really hard for like Matchbox, Hot Wheels to do, because they need to keep it pretty thick metal for safety reasons. But when you're in the collector realm, you can make a spoiler like this, which is beautiful. And then I just love that they do the blue tipped exhausts that are signature to Liberty Walk in some of these cars, and this thing is just beautiful. So all my rules, I like stock better, I like realistic better, all those tend to be thrown out the window as these amazing pieces are made by these companies like Mini GT. That's why I say we're in a golden age of 164, because holy cow. All right, this is easily one of my favorites of the year. We've already shown 6, so here's number 7. This is the Liberty Walk BMW M3, right? And they did a stock version of the BMW, and I'm not showing that one. I did with the Lamborghini Huracan, but I thought this one was great. In this case, it's the combination of those amazingly detailed rims, those kind of deep dish European style 5-spoke rims with the gold trim, and then the red color and the carbon fiber roof. There's Edith saying hello. I adore this model. In just pure aesthetics, this might be my favorite of the year. Just because of the way it looks, it just photographs beautifully. It looks great on this turntable. I just can't get enough of it. Edith clearly agrees too, or she's just barking at a dog walking by. One of the two. Let's just assume she likes this BMW, because I do. I just think looks-wise, this may be my favorite one of the year, is that BMW. And then, how about this? We're going to see the influx. It's already started, of the C8 Corvette. Mini GT nailed theirs. I really like Matchboxes. I think Auto Worlds, when it comes out, is going to look really good. But here is Mini GT's version. Now there's red and a black. I really like this black one because I like the gloss black with the matte black stripes along the top. Side mirrors are there, wheels are perfect. This is the casting that finally said, okay, John, you can get behind this Corvette. I wasn't feeling the C8. I think I'm getting there. Yeah, it helps that I'm seeing some in person too, but this Mini GT version I thought was beautiful. And we're going to see them do some racing versions of this car too, right? Coming up. So I really dig that one. Okay. I mentioned to you that the first 8 were in no particular order, but can you guess what the final 2 are? Now, some people might be saying, what about the Mercedes-Benz, the 190E? Well, we haven't seen it fully released yet, so I will include that in the 2021 range. But based on what you've seen, can you figure it out? I really debated on the top two. Maybe this is a tie for first. Maybe we can call it that. I'm giving you enough chance to guess as this video rolls. All right, hopefully you got your guesses. First one. How can you ignore this one? This is the Land Rover Defender 110 Camel Racing off-road version. I think there's a dirty version coming out, but I wanted to go with this first one. And this is just, what would you call it? Kind of a hold my beer model, where Mini GT just says, you want us to go there? We can do Honda Civics, we can do race cars, we can do stock cars, but we can take it to another level in the detail department. And they surely did. I've got this on the turntable, but you got to break away occasionally and just kind of, because I got to show you all the other details in this, from the top, from the roof rack to the hood with the shovel, and I think that's a pick. And of course, you can see the details like the ladder in the back and the spare tire and everything else. Then add the fact that it's in that camel deco, in that camel color. And I said it's about perfection. This is perfection. I want to get the dirty version. I need to get that one. But I like this version, this clean version first. Everything is just about perfect with this model. And it has to be, one of the best of the year. It also is one of my top two. Tied for first. So that's how we're going to put it. This Land Rover Defender. All right. Can you guess the other one? Think about it, think about it, think about it. Here it is. This thing is the other best of 2020 from Mini GT. This is the Mercedes-Benz Actros. And they've done a couple of versions, but to me, it's this container truck that totally wins it. I have 3 containers that I could choose from. Mini GT released this truck, I think, with the white container. And then they released some special just containers themselves. Evergreen and the Maersk. Maybe the Maersk came with the truck. I can't remember. Nonetheless, they had these spare containers, which I think were awesome. And if you look at them, we'll use the Maersk here. We can stack these over here. And you can hear that clank of the metal, which is awesome. That's what I love about these containers. No plastic here. These just have an amazing feel to them. Clink, clink, clank. You can open them up. Detailed inside. They look just like containers. And that nice clank. And then you've got the base of the container truck, which obviously you can put any container on that you want. And you can haul that thing around. I love this. This incorporates the detail of Mini GT. This incorporates the variety of Mini GT. This incorporates the quality of Mini GT when you look at all the things they've done. And you can even include, they've had some real fun with this. You can just look at the trailer. It's metal, heavy metal. Still, could you break it? Yeah, you could if you really wanted to, but you don't want to. But you got to look at the details on the truck itself, including the fact that the wheels not only rotate, but they actually turn, so you can actually move the truck in a proper way. I think this thing is amazing. And I had to put this with the Land Rover Defender in terms of details, variety, and everything else as my top from Mini GT in 2020. Do you agree? Let me know if you do. If you don't, tell me what your favorite models were. If you haven't gotten some of these models, I highly suggest you do. You want to go through hobby dealers. These are distributed in the United States through Miho exclusives, which means you want to find those hobby dealers which have that as well. This is such a brand. If you're not collecting it now, I think you'll want to, because more and more is coming in 2021. We've got the Kaido House stuff, which is amazing. We've got the Bugattis coming, Ford GTs. And like I said, next week, Glenn and I will be talking about what's coming up in 2021 on Instagram Live. So you definitely want to tune in for that. Big year coming. Big year already. Thanks, Mini GT. Awesome, awesome. More Lamley Awards coming. Bye.